So, es geht jetzt weiter mit dem Adventure. Gabriel Knight. Und ja, bin gespannt, wie es weitergeht.
The sign says, Special St. John's Eve Lagnia. Free bottle of lover come back to me oil, or master gambling oil with every purchase over $50.
Lagniappe. My French is lousy, but everyone in New Orleans knows what that means. A little something extra.
Okay. Was gibt's denn hier noch so alles?
The mask appears to be made from a real crocodile head.
Kann ich ihn
To
nehmen?
get the mask, Gabriel would have to buy it. Root bags, curio boxes, and magic candles. Sold as curios only. We cannot guarantee results. The poster advertises a voodoo play from last fall.
Ja.
The Dixieland drugstore is crammed from top to bottom with strange merchandise, some or all of which seem to be related to the practice of voodoo.
Ja, dann rede ich mal mit ihm.
Hi there. Is this your store?
This the Dixieland drugstore, and I own it. Me. Name's Walker. Willie Walker.
Can you tell me what you know about voodoo?
Ja, was weiß
This
der
is a
wohl?
novelty shop, monsieur.
Do you think I'm stupid? This is a voodoo shop. Look at all this stuff.
These is novelties, curiosities. If people want to think they magic, it's not my concern, you know?
What do you know about the voodoo murders? What did you say?
Nothing. Them killings have nothing to do with my shop, monsieur.
Ja, so verhält er sich aber nicht.
What do you think of New Orleans?
I live here all my life, me.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
It's the biggest night of the year in voodoo.
What goes on exactly?
I couldn't say.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
The only one left is Willie Jr. over there, the old crocodile. He's sort of a mascot now, him.
Do you know anything about snakes?
What kind of snakes?
The kind they use in voodoo?
Pythons, boas, so I've heard.
Really? Do you have one?
Are you crazy? What would I want with a python?
What did you mean when you said Caprice Saint-Corps?
I didn't say that.
You did. I heard you say it.
Ja, er hat sich gesagt.
You heard wrong, monsieur. I said no such thing.
That customer of yours, the little old lady,
Customer?
the woman I saw in here, Madame Casino, you called her.
I don't talk about my customers to men who come in off the street.
About Willie Jr., would you be willing to let him go?
Maybe. For $100.
100? You gotta be kidding.
Me and Willie Jr. are very close now. I couldn't part with him for less.
Would you take 50 for Willie Jr.?
Don't insult me, monsieur. The price is $120.
What? You said you'd sell it for 100 before.
You misheard, monsieur. The price was always 120.
Ja, klasse. Na, lass ich das lieber.
The Dixieland drugstore has a rather terrifying way of dealing with shoplifters.
Hat das überhaupt jemand?
The shelf holds containers of dried items, flowers, grasses, and black cat bones.
I'd have to smell those if I opened them.
Dann gehe ich woanders hin. Ich kann ja jetzt zu dem Museum.
Welcome, my friend. Hello. I am the proprietor, Dr. John. If you have any questions, I will be happy to assist.
Great. My name is Knight, and I'll probably take you up on that.
There's a beaten-up old fan in the window. It's silent at the moment. A street drummer has settled outside the museum. Gabriel can't do anything with the drummer on the street. That must be Marie Laveau.
Oh, da ist eine Schlange.
A very large, very formidable-looking snake is secured in a plexiglass cage. It's an electrical switch.
What does this do?
Turn that thing off.
Oh, sorry.
We have air conditioning, you see.
Yeah, I see.
Das mag er wohl nicht. Und die Schlange schon gar nicht.
The voodoo shrine is filled with items that both fascinate Gabriel and also make his skin crawl.
Oh, nett.
Will that look sacrilegious? This coffin is so small. A waste of some perfectly good wine, if you ask me. Magenta Moonbeam. Voodooian.
Kann ich das
A
mitnehmen?
flyer advertising Magenta Moonbeam, a local voodooian. Her parlor is on the corner of Orleans and Dauphine. Dr. John is a huge man. If his manner weren't so pleasant, he'd be intimidating.
Could I ask you a few questions?
That is why I am here.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Historical voodoo, or the voodoo currently practiced in the city.
Tell me about historical voodoo.
Very well. I will start at the beginning, Mr. Knight, and will go on from there at your prompting.
Oh, das kann
Sounds
jetzt länger
good.
dauern.
As you may know, voodoo is a grassroots religion, formed by the mixing together of many different African tribal religions and Anglo religions, such as Catholicism or Protestantism. In other words, it is a religion born of the African slave trade. But African slaves were imported not only by the United States, but also into the West Indies, with the French and Spanish-ran plantation islands. Prior to 1803, the New Orleans area was owned by France. The French Creole in those days owned many African slaves. But the Creole did not permit their slaves to gather, giving no chance for voodoo to breed here natively. The Creole also knew enough about the corrupted pagan practices of the West Indies slaves to ban the importings of slaves from that region.
Okay. Das ist, also ohne Untertitel hätte ich da jetzt Probleme gehabt.
So, how did voodoo come to New Orleans?
After the Louisiana Purchase, American legislators relaxed regulations. Slaves were permitted to gather. The Americans also removed the ban on West Indies slaves. Around the same time, a slave revolt occurred in Santo Domingo, what is now Haiti. Between the lifting of the ban and the Haitian Revolt, West Indies slaves began pouring into New Orleans. Some of them were free people of color, freed or escaped slaves. Some came with their white owners who were fleeing from the revolt.
Okay.
What happened when the West Indies slaves got here?
They brought voodoo with them. The native slaves were more than enthusiastic about embracing it. It gave them power, Mr. Knight, if only in the form of a communal bond. Among the first meeting places were the Bayou St. John and the shore of Lake Pontchartrain. The early voodoos were heavy snake worshippers, worshipping the one they called the Great Zombie.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
By 1817, the voodoo activities were beginning to cause fear among the white slave owners. An ordinance was passed to forbid slave gatherings except in designated public areas at designated times. The time was Sunday afternoons, and the place, Congo Square. The slaves and free people of color gathered to dance simulations of their voodoo dances, right in sight of Creole society. Of course, they also continued to meet in private for the real thing.
Hallo Alex Dragon. Ich wünsche dir auch einen schönen Tag.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
There were a variety of kings and queens at first, voodoo priests and priestesses. But from about 1830, a single power emerged. This was a voodoo queen named Marie Laveau. Marie Laveau ruled voodoo in New Orleans for many years.
Okay. Aber ich muss sie immer noch weiter befragen.
Tell me about current voodoo.
Many people think of voodoo in terms of magic spells or gree-gree. That kind of practice is actually called hoodoo and is only a part of true voodoo. Voodoo, the religion, has a strong following in New Orleans. In fact, it is growing quite rapidly. There are several voodoo churches or temples in the city, and others all across the United States. African Americans see it as a tradition all their own. Whites, and there are many in the religion, are attracted to it because they think it is exotic. I personally am more interested in the history of voodoo. Some of the new movements are copying Haitian or even African voodoo, but it is the voodoo of New Orleans that I find so intriguing.
Der ist mir zu freundlich. Ich denke, der hat was mit den Morden zu tun.
Tell me about Marie Laveau.
There were actually two Marie Laveaux, mother and daughter. Most people thought they were the same woman. Her continued youth added to the mystique. The original, the mother, was also known as Widow Paris. It was she that began the empire.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
The Laveau tomb, where one or both of the Maries are believed to be buried, is in St. Louis Cemetery No. 1. It is a popular shrine for practitioners and tourists alike. I myself take tours through the cemetery on a regular basis.
Really? Do you have any running this week?
No, but the cemetery is open to the general public as well.
Tell me about yourself.
Ja, mal gucken, was er...
Me?
Yes, if you don't mind.
What is it you wish to learn?
Why did you open a voodoo museum?
The subject has fascinated me all my life, and I wanted to help preserve the cultural heritage it represents.
What kind of background in voodoo do you have?
Das ist eine doofe Frage.
Let us just say I cut my teeth on it, Mr. Knight. It is in my blood.
Do you do anything besides run the museum?
No, the museum does not make me a rich man. But my material needs are simple. I prefer to focus on my one true interest in life.
What are your own religious beliefs?
My beliefs are too personal and too complex to discuss with a layman, Mr. Knight.
Just tell me anything.
I am originally from the West Indies myself, you know.
Really? What brought you to New Orleans?
I was drawn here for personal reasons.
Oh, noch was?
Just tell me anything.
I am a vegetarian.
Really? I can't imagine living without meat.
Fleisch.
That must be the hunter in you, Mr. Knight.
Just tell me anything.
I am not an easy person to get to know. I am a very private man.
Isn't that unusual for someone in the museum business?
Not at all. My displays speak for me.
Also Synchronisation ist gut, muss ich sagen.
Just tell me anything.
Not everyone can come see the museum, so I occasionally do public speaking on the subject of historical voodoo.
Anything coming up that I might attend?
No. But then you have me all to yourself right now, do you not?
Actually, I can't think of a thing.
Then let us discuss something else.
So how's the museum business?
Those who truly seek to understand are few, Mr. Knight. But even one can be an audience.
Sounds about like my shop.
Stimmt,
Do you know
stimmt.
anything about snakes?
Ah. You have perhaps noticed the museum snake, Mr. Knight? They are beautiful creatures. Do you not agree? And the tourists seem to associate them with voodoo.
What exactly is hoodoo?
Hoodoo refers to magic folk traditions of the South. Hoodoo is a bastard of voodoo. Many of the Gris are similar, but hoodoo does not have the religious aspects of voodoo.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
I used to have some antique African totem masks, but they were on the point of disintegration, so I removed them.
Einfach weggeworfen, das hätte ich aber jetzt nicht getan.
So where do you pick up all this stuff?
Oh, here and there. We accept donations of any pertinent items.
Do you ever get any wackos in here?
You mean, besides yourself?
Yeah, besides me.
I do not care to make those kinds of judgments, Mr. Knight. All are welcome here.
You're a big guy, aren't you? Do you work out, play sports?
I do not play basketball, if that is what you want to know.
Who, me? No, you just look like such a natural athlete.
I do find ways of keeping fit, Mr. Knight. After all, our bodies are temples.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
The killings in the newspaper. I know they have nothing to do with true voodoo in New Orleans.
Ja, okay, dann war's das erstmal.
Do you know this woman?
Magentia Moonbeam, yes. She is a local voodooienne. There are many of them in New Orleans. They often do business selling gris-gris, telling fortunes, providing luck, and occasionally misfortune. I often refer those who seek a deeper experience with voodoo to her.
Okay, kann ich...
Could I ask you some more questions?
Of course. I also find our dialogue stimulating.
Nee, sonst hat sich nichts Neues ergeben.
Come back again.
Dann gehe ich lieber. Da ist er ja schon wieder, der Trommler, ey. Der ist ja überall. Aber der ist neu. Hallo? Oh nee, komm.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Oh Gott sei Dank.
Yep, I mind all right.
Why?
Because A, I don't know anything, and B, I'm busy.
Oh,
Speicher lieber, das hat mich jetzt wieder... Der ist auch neu.
you dance pretty well for a kid.
Give me some money then.
I don't have any.
Then don't block the view, mister.
Do you do requests?
Got any money?
Nope.
Something to eat?
No.
There you have it. No.
Can't think of anything at the moment.
Okay then.
Da ist auch wieder eine neue.
An artist has taken advantage of
come
the
back
fine
here.
weather.
Hey!
Okay, was war das?
Oh, unbelievable. Rotten luck.
Kaum ich rankomme, dann wird das für euch helfen.
Gabriel can't reach the drawing from where he is.
Could I get a doobie dog, please?
Not now, I'm busy.
Was für ein
An
Verkäufer.
unambitious person in the 90s. Amazing.
Ich bin doch Auto, vielleicht habe ich ja was.
The vendor wouldn't be interested in seeing that.
Okay.
I have this gift certificate.
I'm busy.
It's good for $20 at St. George's Books. Finest bookstore in New Orleans.
Really? I'll have to check it out sometime.
You could take this gift certificate with you. If you'll give me a doobie dog.
A doobie dog for a $20 gift certificate? Sure, here you go.
Ach, dafür arbeitet er jetzt. Klasse. Aber der wollte doch essen, der Junge.
You wouldn't like a doobie dog by any chance.
Plötzlich steht
Would
da
I?
wirklich du wieder.
Thanks, mister. You got any special requests? Let me know.
Mal gucken, was ich von ihm haben kann.
You mentioned something about special requests.
Yeah, you got one?
Stangen das Standbild? Was?
Can you fit through the bars around the statue?
Can I? Just watch me.
Good. There's something in there I can't quite reach.
Ach, das meint er damit.
Can you reach that piece of paper?
Sure thing. Here you go.
Thanks, kid.
Yup. See ya.
Aber mit dem Voodoo-Morden hat das jetzt wohl doch nichts zu tun, oder?
It's a technical drawing of St. Louis Cathedral.
Aber vielleicht will er den ja zurückhaben.
Stupid wind. Now I have to start all over.
This belongs to you, doesn't it?
My drawing. How'd you get it?
Oh, it was a bit of a squeeze, but I hate to see you lose your work. I lost my only copy of a manuscript once.
Well, you saved my butt. Let me know if I can ever do the same for you, hey?
Those drawing tools are amazing.
Yeah, they're great for laying lines, angles, circles, you know, anything geometric. It's pretty meticulous, but I prefer it to freehand.
Can you draw anything with those tools?
They're great for ordered, complex forms and patterns, but they won't help me do Monet.
Nice drawing of the cathedral.
Hey, thanks.
It's really precise.
Well, I'm an architectural student, actually. It's good practice.
Do you mind if I watch you?
Be my guest.
Ich hab doch eine Zeichnung. Aus.
Is there any way you can reconstruct the whole pattern from this partial?
Okie dokie. Well, I might be able to reconstruct the pattern if I had more data, but this is just one small area of it. What is this from, anyway?
You'd never believe me.
I'll see what I can do.
Aber ich hab doch mehr davon.
I have some more of those patterns.
Really? Let's see. Yeah, these are great. I think there's enough overlap now. I'll give it my best shot. I'll show you what I come up with tomorrow.
Great. I appreciate it.
Okay, und das jetzt so nebenbei mit einem Maler. Ich speichere wieder lieber ab. Ich habe immer Angst, dass irgendwas abstürzt. Was war das? Gibt es einen Ort, wo ich noch nicht war? So kann ich ja jetzt zum Friedhof. Ja, da wollte ich doch nicht. Mal schauen. Bin jetzt zufällig an einem Grab mit Markierung. Ja, einen roten Ziegelstein kann man immer mal gebrauchen, ne?
Odd-looking marks adorn the Laveau tomb wall. Gabriel can't take the marks with him that way. The wall doesn't work that way.
Aber ich kann doch bestimmt wieder mit dem Notizbuch was machen, auch wenn ich keine Ahnung habe, wozu das da sein soll.
I want a copy of these strange marks.
Gabriel can't put his sketch back on the...
Okay.
Food, trinkets, and more unsettling things have been left at Marie Laveau's tomb as offerings from believers.
Wieso haut denn der jetzt ab? Ich wollte doch gerade mit dem reden. Was ist denn der jetzt?
Two enormous vases flank the front of the Getty tomb. An angel draped dramatically over a stone plinth marks the entrance to a large tomb.
Kann man hier irgendwie weiter?
The imposing tomb is elaborately labeled Getty.
Lieber nicht. Hä? Wie hat er das denn jetzt hingekriegt?
Hello there. Got a sec?
Go ahead. These folks ain't in no hurry.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
They say it was part of an old religion from Africa, brought here by slaves.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Isn't it just awful, them finding those bodies with the voodoo things around them? I don't think there's any real voodoo going on. Somebody trying to cover their tracks is all.
Okay.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? I see snakes around here all the time. Most of them aren't poisonous, of course. I don't mind snakes myself, but lots of folks are afraid of them.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Sure. She was the voodoo queen of New Orleans, a powerful voodooian and a powerful sorceress. Believers still come to her tomb, you know. They write secret marks on the walls, leave offerings. Then there's the tourists. They come out of curiosity. As a matter of fact, that big Dr. John fella from that voodoo museum, he's here at least once a day. But Marie Laveau's tomb isn't the only one the believers visit and make markings and leave offerings at.
You said there were other mock tombs?
Yep. I've seen bull hearts left on tombs and a nest of vulture feathers, plates of peas and congreve. Animal parts, human parts even, it look like. Male parts, if you get my meaning. And this is one of the great family crypts, mind you. Odd how them types just pick a spot and stick to it.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
Well, St. John the Baptist is the patron saint of voodoo. Sometimes we get weird goings-on in the cemetery on that night. More often on a few nights before. People taking grave dirt, bones, and who knows what.
That's pretty disgusting.
Yep. Don't know what they do in them, but it can be pretty.
You been working here a long time?
Longer than you've been alive, son. I may perhaps be here longer than you'll be alive, for that matter.
War das eine Drohung? Warte mal. Der hat doch gesagt, dass dort... Hier war doch... Oh, komm. Dass es hier noch andere markierte Gräber gibt.
An angel draped dramatically over a stone plinth marks the entrance to a large tomb.
Get. Das kann doch kein Zufall sein, dass er hier
A
steht.
stone angel leans down to gaze at something unseen.
I don't need to go visit the family tomb today.
Achso, der hat auch einen Familiengrab hier, okay. Ich rede nochmal mit ihm.
Could I have a minute of your time?
What you need, boy?
Tell me something about St. Louis Cemetery, #1.
You know why the dead are buried in tombs and not in the ground, don't you? The water table's too high. Them coffins will float right out of their graves. Ha! Them dead will go floating right down into the Coda. Of course, if it were Mardi Gras, nobody'd even notice. It's a historical place. People buried in here from the Civil War. Back further, too. Take a look around. You'll see.
Okay.
Do you have any idea what Caprice San Call means?
Nope. Can't say that I do.
What can you tell me about N'Orleans?
Seem like everyone wants to visit N'Orleans at least once in their lives. And they love the cemetery tours. I see tourists in here every day of the year.
Okay.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Tell me about yourself.
My name is Toussaint Gervais. I'm the watchman here at St. Louis #1.
What exactly do you do here?
Oh, I keep the place tidy, of course, but a big part of my job, too, is looking out for the grievers, you know. People come to pay their respects, and they need looking out for. Sometimes they so grief-bound, they don't know what they doing.
Das ist aber nett. Naja. Bringt mir ja nichts mehr hier.
A sign on the front door of Magenta's home reads, Attuning with the Spirit Realm, back on June 22nd.
Gehe ich mal zur Kathedrale, hier war ich ja auch noch nicht.
At least the cherub is an aesthetic way of asking for donations. Someone is in that confessional. Gabriel will have to wait.
Scheint nichts zu sein.
The chancel of St. Louis Cathedral consists of a raised dais, an altar, 2 pedestals, and a choir area.
Okay, arbeitet der Künstler an einem Auftrag für dich? Hat Malia dich rausgeschmissen? Hast du den Voodoo-Shop und das Museum besucht? Hast du dich dort sorgfältig umgeschaut und mit den Besitzern gesprochen? Hast du Grace um weitere Recherchen gefragt? Wer ist denn Malia? Du Maya, hast du den Voodoo-Shop? Das ist ja genau dasselbe, das ist ja ein doofer Hinweis. Aber wer ist denn Malia? Ich habe irgendwas verpasst. Ich muss nochmal mit den Leuten reden, ey.
Hi.
Hi.
Mind if I ask you a few questions?
Ask what you want. I answer what I want.
What do you know about Marie Laveau?
Marie, she's somebody from the old days. One of them old folk tales. The tourists eat it up, no?
What do you think of N'Orleans?
If you're not from around here, monsieur, you should sign up for some tours.
Are you telling me that you own a voodoo shop, but you know nothing about voodoo practices?
Ça n'est pas ça faire blanc.
What does that mean?
It means you should mind your own business, monsieur.
Okay. Sich sonst. Gehe ich nochmal zu dem Museum.
Hello, Dr. John.
Glad you could return to us, Mr. Knight.
The back wall displays various voodoo items, such as offerings of fruits to the voodoo deities.
Okay.
Could I ask you some more questions?
Of course. I also find our dialogue stimulating.
Da werde ich einfach weiterreden mit dem, also irgendwo.
What do you think of New Orleans?
It is the only city in the United States, as far as I am concerned.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
It is one of the important ceremonial nights in Voodoo.
Do you know what Capri Saint-Call means?
I fear my French is not all it should be, Mr. Knight.
You sound like Grace. I should get the two of you together.
Is Grace your wife?
No, she just acts like it. So what do you think of our summer weather? Have you ever seen it so overcast or so muggy?
Was für interessante
It is
Gesprächsthemen.
unpleasant. The heavens are not pleased these days.
Nice outfit.
I prefer simple cotton to dead flesh, Mr. Knight.
I'll have to remember that. This is quite a place you have here.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. I have dedicated myself to the preservation of this unique culture. It is gratifying to see others reap the fruits I have sown.
Tell me about yourself.
What more can I tell you?
Actually, I can't think of a thing.
Then let us discuss something else. Goodbye, Mr.
Ja, das ist wieder sowas, wo man.
The sign says the Overlook's closed for repairs until June 21st.
Dann gehe ich nochmal zum Buchladen.
I knew you'd miss me, so I came back.
Really? I forgot you were gone.
Ich habe irgendwas übersehen.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Do you have any idea what Capri Saint-Call means?
No. Sounds French, though.
Could you do some research for me?
Sure, what?
I need you to look up a Madame Casino.
Madame Casino? Is she related to the murders the same way your friend Malia Getty was?
Grace, Casino's at
Malia,
least
okay.
70.
As if that makes a difference to you. Okay, I'll see what I can find. Anything else?
I can't think of anything.
Da war der Name mal, ja. Hä?
Done anything interesting lately?
By your definition? No. I prefer it that way.
Moment.
I've got some things I need to do.
Good luck.
Moment. Vielleicht muss ich hier was machen. Oh. Da ist was Neues. Das kennt ich. Schickes Haus. Und bestimmt Sklavenhändler.
May I help you?
Mexiko Silberwagenreiniger, mach auf, falsches Auto.
I'd like to see Malia Getty, please.
I'm sorry, but unless you have an appointment or official business, I cannot announce you.
I do have official business.
Really? Please tell me the nature of your business.
Hey, was?
Please let me in.
No. Go away before I call the police.
Normal.
May I help you?
Ich hab dem doch das geklaut.
My name is Detective Mosley. I'm here on police business.
Really? How interesting. Wait here. I'll inform Miss Getty.
Ah, da geht das.
Miss Getty will see you. Right this way. Miss Getty will be down shortly.
Thank you.
Schicke Bibliothek. Hätte ich auch gern.
What can I do for you, Detective?
Mind if I ask you a few questions, Miss Getty?
I assume that's what you're here for, Detective.
Mit ihr flirten?
Excuse me, but your eyes are really distracting. I don't think I've ever seen a color quite like that brownish gold. It's so deep and rich. Man, if I could bottle that, I'd make a fortune.
Thank you, Detective. That's an interesting observation, though probably not relevant to your case.
A good detective never knows what might be relevant, Miss Getty.
Then you must be truly exceptional at your job.
I can't help noticing that you're in incredible shape, Miss Getty. Your legs are so strong. Do you work out at one of the clubs by the lake?
Well, Detective, I do enjoy physical activity.
Oh, me too.
Actually, I was referring to swimming and modern dance. I can't say that I do much exercising at the lake, though.
Ah, well, it was worth asking.
Oh, ich habe sogar Erfolg bekommen dafür.
Can you tell me anything about what happened out at the lake?
I wish I could, but I've never seen or heard anything unusual at the lake, and I do spend quite a bit of time out there. I think this has gone on long enough. You're not really a detective, are you?
Who, me? Well, I am on this case, Miss Getty.
I saw you at the lake yesterday. I thought you must be with the police since you were there, but you don't act like a police officer. Besides, I'm rather certain that the other man said his name was Mosley.
All right, you caught me. I'm not with the police. My name is Gabriel Knight. I'm a writer working with Detective Mosley on a book.
Well, Mr. Knight, now that we've established who you are, perhaps you can tell me the real reason you're here.
Well, I am researching the book, and I thought you might have seen or heard something at the lake.
I don't like liars, Mr. Knight.
Okay, you're right. I really just wanted to see you again. You can be mad at me if you want, but I swear I've never done anything like this before.
Mr. Knight, you've lied about your identity and wasted my time with meaningless questions. If it weren't vaguely flattering, I'd really be angry. You're lucky I don't call the real police.
Ja, klar. Der Schönling, der durfte alles.
I think you should go, Mr. Knight.
Malia, wait. If you just give me a chance.
I've wasted enough time. I'll have Robert show you out.
Ja, gut, dass ich vorher mit dir geflirtet habe, dann
Robert?
wegen dem Erfolg schon.
Show Mr. Knight out, please.
I most certainly will.
Thank you very much. I had a lovely time.
Dieser Unterton immer.
Ah, shit.
Time. So. Jetzt?
It's getting late. Gabriel decides to go home for the day.
Ah, okay. Tag 2 fertig. Ja, und schon wieder der Albtraum. Die Hallen des Wissens warteten auf mich. Dort war ich bereit zur Verschwörung. Aber in der Stadt der Toten fand ich meinen wahren Herzenswunsch. Tag 3. Es ist immer seltsam bei diesen Gabriel Knight Spielen.
I'm so glad you could join us today. I've got messages when you want them.
Oh Gott, schon wieder Nachrichten.
I also checked out Casino. There are multiple listings in the white pages. I got the page, but you'll have to figure out the right one.
Great. Thanks.
Now, are you gonna tell me what happened yesterday with Malia Getty, or is it just too embarrassing?
Jetzt kommt's.
Don't tell me you actually got to see her.
All the stars out tonight.
Gabriel, you don't seriously think she's interested. She can have any man in the city. You know, men with bank accounts.
You underestimate the Knight family's tragic poet samurai appeal. When Daddy married Mom, she was the hottest catch in town.
I always suspected there was something fishy in your family tree. But seriously, I think you should be careful.
Meow, Grace.
I'm serious. I don't know why, but I have a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach about this.
It's called jealousy, my dear. And you're right, you should be jealous of Malia Getty, as should every woman on this planet.
I just... never mind. I'll just fix these books. Your life is in your own slippery little hands.
The point is to get it into somebody else's hands. And soon.
Ah, ich kann wieder. Mal gucken, was dies in meiner Zeit
Today's
steht.
newspaper is on the counter. Times dated June 20th, 1993. Gabriel scans over an uninteresting front page. Under the cultural events section, there's a notice about a lecture on African religions. The lecture is at Tulane University. Gabriel's horoscope for the day. An evil eye is upon you. Change your course before it's too late.
Lighten up.
Was für ein tolles Horoskop, ey. Wahnsinn. Ah, das ist diese Telefonbuchseite. Stimmt, sie hat ja Nachrichten.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Do you have messages for me?
Your pal Mosley called. He left a message that they are interrogating a suspect this morning, and you might want to be there.
Sounds fun.
Mm-hmm. I bet.
Das war es dann wohl wieder. Gut. Gab es hier nicht? Doch, ein Telefon. Das muss klappen. Ach du verdammt. Boah, ist das schwer zu entziffern.
Hello.
Is this the Casino residence?
Yes. What can I do for you?
Do you or does anyone in your family patronize the Dixieland drugstore?
I'm a busy man. What are you selling?
Nothing.
Good. Goodbye.
Gut, das war der bestimmt nicht. Wetten, das ist dann die letzte Nummer? Ist doch immer bei sowas.
Hello?
Hello, I'm calling from the Dixieland drugstore. We have an order for you.
Castro, be quiet. Who is this?
I'm a friend of the owner.
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, das hörte sich aber richtig an. Warte mal, da war... Natürlich, das könnte funktionieren.
Cajun Critters Animal Clinic. This is Melissa.
Do you have a Madame Casino as a client?
Madam Casino? Sure, I know her. She's not here right now, though.
Really? She told me she'd be there. Would you happen to have her address by any chance?
Yes, but I'm not sure I should give it out. Who are you again?
I'm worried about Castro. He's missed 3 dance lessons.
Castro? Her little doggy? Oh, he's so sweet. Well, I guess if you know Castro, it's okay. Her address is 345 Dauphine.
Thanks.
Ich wusste es. Diese Art von Rätsel habe ich mal in einem anderen Adventure gehabt. Da habe ich mich totgebissen dran. Das war auch irgendwas mit dem Telefon und dann musste man eine ganz andere Nummer wählen. Da muss man erstmal drauf kommen. Das ist... Okay. Was musste ich denn jetzt machen, ja? Madame Corbeau, kann ich ja hingehen? Ah, ich kann nochmal zum Malia gehen. Wer ist denn Professor Hartridge? Okay. Na egal, ich gehe mal über. Ich habe nur ein Deutsch-Wörterbuch hier, aber kein Französisch-Wörterbuch in einer Stadt, wo es mehr Franzosen gibt als sonst wo in Amerika. Natürlich logisch.
I'm going out.
Don't hurry back on my account.
Ich gehe erstmal zu dem Maler. Der hat doch noch so einen Auftrag für mich. Auch wenn es ein
How's it
Zufall
going
war.
today?
What? Oh, it's only you. Man, I have been jumpy all day. That pattern of yours really freaked me out for some reason. There's just something creepy.
Okay.
You finished it?
Yeah, and you're welcome to it. Here.
Wow. This is great.
Uh-huh, yeah, just don't, like, blow up the planet with it or something, okay?
I didn't mean to upset you.
Ah, forget it. I'm probably just being stupid. Do your thing with it, and, good luck.
Okay. Hier ist wieder jemand Neues. Er setzt sich einfach.
Madame Lorelei, is it?
What can I do for you, handsome?
How's business?
How's business? I have no time for such dull conversation, darling.
How about a reading?
The prices are listed on the sign.
They seem a little steep.
Well, I sometimes do my intimate friends for nothing, but I am a businesswoman.
I'm sure you are. That's a nice snake you have there.
Oh, I could say the same of you.
Well, I know where I got mine. Where'd you get yours?
That's personal.
I'd really like to know more about that snake.
Oh, sorry, sweetie, but I don't discuss Elvis with anyone.
Die Schlange ist Elvis.
Oh, nothing.
Well, then move aside, sweetie, but stay where I can look at you, okay?
Okay. Mal schauen.
A bronze statue of Andrew Jackson marks the center of Jackson Square.
Logisch.
A Cajun band, inventive as always with their instruments, is having a good old time on the lawn. Funny how catchy that toe tapping can be.
Was machst du denn jetzt?
Come on, boys, hoopla!
Not a bad idea.
Was zum...
Baby, I love the way you move.
Madame Lorelei winks knowingly at Gabriel and twitches her hips.
Yep, she wants me.
Okay.
Thanks, boys.
Oh, jetzt hat sie was hinge... Sie hat den Schleier fallen lassen.
The veil belongs to the fortune teller. It's covered with shiny, iridescent sequins. Gabriel examines the veil with the magnifying glass.
What?
The fortune teller's veil is studded with sequins. The sequins look a little strange. Why, it's a snake scale.
Schon wieder?
Gabriel carefully uses the...
Ja, jetzt habe ich aber zwei.
The iridescent scale is hued olive green. It doesn't seem to match the scale from Lake Pontchartrain.
Okay. Aber ich bin ja ein Gentleman. Sie kriegt ihr Tuch zurück.
I think this veil belongs to you.
Oh, my veil! I'm always losing those things. You have no idea. Well, darling, you're such a sweetie to return a lady's delicates, and so handsome as well.
Well,
And since you have such a clear interest in fortune-telling, let me see your hands. They look so strong. Perhaps they will make both our fortunes clear, no?
I wish something would.
Strong, yes, and yet so delicate and flexible.
You don't know the half of it.
Oh, good. I see a mysterious woman in your immediate future.
Madame Lorelei winks at Gabriel knowingly.
She is a dangerous one, dark and beautiful. Oh, I see the road of your life forking, and very soon.
The blood drains from Madame Lorelei's face in an instant. Sweat beads on her upper lip.
Are you okay?
There are forces. Oh God, beware! Beware!
Wie dramatisch.
What is it about me lately?
Was war das denn? Oh, nochmal eine Ruhe geschafft, das ist toll. Was war das denn? Ach, da kann ich ja schneller mit wegfahren, sehr schön. Hat sich hier was verändert vielleicht? Sieht mir nicht so aus. Oh,
Gabriel might need the goodwill, but he can't afford to make a donation right now.
Ah, jetzt funktioniert's. Ich war noch nie in einem Beichtstuhl.
May I help you, my child?
Okay.
Can I ask you a few questions?
The confessional is not the best place for interviews, son.
Susie.
You can contact the parish offices if you need private counseling.
I understand. Thanks, Father.
Is there anything else?
Kein Beicht,
I'd like to make a confession.
All right, if it'll make you feel better.
Unsaubere Gedanken, gespielte Streich mit Mosley, unbezahlte Assistentin, generelle Entschuldigung, Weiberheld. Ich mach mal
I've had
unsaubere
impure
Gedanken.
thoughts about a woman I met.
Impure thoughts? You mean thoughts of sexual relations?
You could say that, but worse than what you mean.
Worse? You mean extreme sexual relations?
Well, not involving animals or anything.
Was ist das denn?
Oh, well. Perhaps we should just leave it at that. Pray for forgiveness and say 10 rosaries. Is there anything else?
I've done some pretty rotten things to my friend Mosley.
Rotten? What do you mean?
Practical jokes, insults, among other things.
I see. Are you sorry?
Well...
Tut's mir leid, nö.
Pray for forgiveness and say 3 rosaries. Is there anything else?
I haven't paid my assistant for 3 months.
Have you had the money?
Nope.
Sounds like a matter for the courts, son, not the church. Is there anything else?
I've had a lot of women, Father.
A lot? More than 10?
Yes, Father.
More than 20?
Yes, Father.
More than 40?
Yes, Father.
Son, I don't think this is a matter for a priest. I think you need a good therapist.
If we're counting therapists, then I'm up to at least, let's see, count the 1, and this might take a while.
My son, I'm afraid my lunch break is coming on about now. Pray for forgiveness and say 20 rosaries. On second thought, when you finish the math, say that many rosaries.
Gabriel hears him leave the confessional.
I should probably add 1 more rosary for that while I'm at it. I've been a bad boy.
Oh mein Gott. Ah, komm.
I've always wondered how the other half lives.
Okay. Was ist da in dem Kasten?
Inside the box, Gabriel finds a priest collar and some oil used for blessing.
Ob's gut ist, einen Priester zu bestehlen?
You never know when a priest's collar will come in handy.
That oil is for holy purposes, not the sort of thing Gabriel would want to use it for.
Okay.
The priest's side of the confessional is made of well-oiled wood. There's also a box under the shelf on this side.
Ich kann da reden?
He hears someone enter and kneel down on the other side.
Father, I'd like to make a confession.
Go on, my son.
I've recently come into a large sum of money.
I don't really see a problem with that.
It's not that. It's how I got it. I literally found a suitcase of money. So I picked it up and took it instead of telling the police or trying to find who it belonged to.
Investiere in ein lokales
I
Geschäft.
advise you to invest in a local business. I've heard there's this wonderful bookshop on Bourbon Street, in fact, that could use a little bit of luck.
Well, I'm not much of a reader.
What better time to start? Oh, and say 10 rosaries, I think.
If you say so, Father. Thank you.
Thank you, my son.
The man leaves the confessional.
Hat er sich jetzt auch noch eine Investition geholt. Oh. Ich glaube, ich bin hier fertig. Jetzt könnte ich ja zu der Frau gehen, die ich ja eben gestalkt habe. Ja, das ist sie.
Yes? Who is it?
I've got some great pet supplies. Coochie coochie coo, little doggy.
Castro has everything he needs. Don't you, Castro?
Ich glaube, das war das Falsche.
Thanks a lot, Castro.
Nochmal versuchen.
Yes? Who is it?
Dann machen wir Voodoo.
Hi, I'm doing an article on voodoo, and I heard that you are...
I'm a good Catholic young man. Take your evil influence elsewhere.
But I just have a few questions.
I can feel the evil eye. Go away.
Was hat die denn für ein Problem?
Yes? Who is it?
Please let me talk to you, Madam Casino.
I do not talk to strangers, young man.
Okay, ich glaube, ich komme mit der nicht weiter. Mist. Dann geht's jetzt zu diesem Verhör. Also der Trommler ist auch überall.
Can I bother you again, officer?
What is it this time?
Do you know what caprice and call means?
No. Sounds foreign or something.
I'm here to see Detective Mosley.
He's in his office. Go on back.
Ja, okay. Mit dem kommt man sowieso nichts weiter. Ob er sauer ist, dass man ihm seine Polizeimarke geklaut hat?
You! Give me back my badge! Now, Knight!
Sure. Thanks for letting me borrow it.
Yeah? You borrow it again in your history. Now, about today. Glad you made it. It'll give you a feel for how I am in action. You know, handling suspects, that sort of thing.
I'm sure it'll be invigorating. Who is this guy, anyway?
Calls himself Crash. He's been an informant for us before, mostly helping us bust small-time pimps and dealers trying to break into the territory. He's been staying invisible during these murders, but we picked him up this morning at Jackson Square pushing coke. He knows something. Call it detective's instinct.
Detective's instinct. Got it.
Okay. Schauen, wie kompetent er ist.
All right, Crash. I want to hear about these murders. Have you been present at the so-called voodoo rituals?
I don't know nothing. All right, I told you.
Come on now. You can tell me. Do you know anyone who's been to these rituals?
Look, I can't say nothing. You gotta let me go.
Relax. No one knows you're here. The men who picked you up were in plain clothes.
Plain clothes? Like you could fool them. They know I'm here. They've got ears all over the city. They know everything.
Who are they, Crash? Are they the ones doing the murders?
Let me go.
If you're so worried about being detained, start talking. You tell me what I want to hear, and maybe I can get you into the witness protection program. But you gotta earn it.
Witness protection? Are you crazy? Oh, don't make me laugh. Oh, Jesus, just let me out of here.
Oh, come on. Who's behind these murders, Crash? Why are the victims all members of the underworld?
Oh, by now they know I'm here. It's different when I'm supposed to come here. Oh, if I can send a message. Yeah, tell them I didn't say nothing.
Christ, he's freaking useless. Just take him back to detaining, would you, Tony?
Das hat ja viel gebracht.
I tell you, times like this, I'd kill for truth serum. Damn civil rights.
Can I quote you on that?
Huh? Hell no. Damn, we can only keep him for 24 hours. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna have to let him go. Sorry it wasn't more exciting. You know, for the book, I mean. Hey, maybe you could punch it up some. You know, what do they call that? Fiction. That's it.
It certainly is. I'll see what I can do.
Oh, vielleicht kann ich mit ihm noch was
Can I ask you about some stuff?
You're the writer. Ask away.
Also Neues hat nicht.
What's the status on the Voodoo murders case?
Sure as hell ain't going well. There sure are a lot of brakes being applied in different areas of the investigation. We're getting some real info on the victims now, and they're not exactly upstanding citizens. I was hoping to get more out of Crash, but he's scared shitless. We'll have to let him go tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Does the phrase caprice encore mean anything to you?
Hell no! Is that French? My mother spoke it, but I always had a hard enough time just speaking English.
True enough. What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
That's coming up, isn't it? We get some occasional weirdness in the quarter, but nothing much. Used to have a lot of strange things happen, though, or so I hear.
So.
What's the status on the Voodoo murders case?
You're as filled in as me.
Also nichts Neues eigentlich, ne? Ich kann ihn auch beleidigen.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Is she that red-headed chick that works at Freddy's?
No.
Then I don't know her.
Ah, hat sich das. Gibt noch andere Orte, wo ich hin muss.
Well, I'll be seeing you.
Have a good one.
Zur Vorsicht werde ich jetzt nochmal speichern. So. Gibt es noch irgendwelche Orte, wo es neu sind? Wo ich... Oh ja, hier ist was Neues.
It looks like the lecture is just starting.
Voodoo is the tribal religion of Africa, but the name Voodoo is actually a banner heading, under which resides an entire body of distinct tribal belief systems. The word voodoo may sound familiar to you. What is known in the States as voodoo is actually an amalgamation of African religious systems, voodoo, and European religions, primarily Catholicism. All of these subcults of African voodoo have certain things in common. The most important is the worship of a pantheon of spirits, instead of the single deity that the Christian and Muslim systems have. Some of these spirits are elementals, some relate to specific tasks or places, some represent important tribal leaders who have died. This spirit worship is what makes voodoo so easily adaptable. With all these spirits, it's no problem to add a few more. Say, for example, the Virgin Mary. At the height of tribal Africa, warfare was common. One tribe would conquer another, and the Loa, important in the conqueror's tribal system, would be adopted readily into the conquered tribe's Loa pantheon. In this way, many of the voodoo cults spread and mingled throughout tribal Africa, enriching the belief system and causing innumerable offshoots. The basis for the voodoo religion seems to be as old as man himself. It has much in common with many early pagan practices: animal totems, sympathetic magic, elemental spirits in the trees, the heavens, the bodies of the sick. Africa is believed by many to be the cradle of the human race. Some of the voodoo Loa may be as old as the Garden of Eden itself. We still can't explain some of the real power of these primal religions. And note, I said primal, not primitive. There are African Bokors who baffle our scientists with their supernatural powers. Now, let's discuss the elements of voodoo.
Fascinating guy.
In voodoo, the spirits are called the Loa. During a voodoo ceremony, celebrants are possessed by the Loa. This is called being ridden. The human worshipper is seen as a horse, and the Loa as the divine horseman. A person being ridden by a Loa takes on the characteristics of that spirit and becomes, in effect, merely a vessel for the more powerful entity. Some of the older original Africa Loa include Dambala, the great serpent god, Ezuli, the mistress of love, Papa Nebo, or Gede, the lord of death, Awe, the spirit of water, Legba, spirit of the crossroads, and the cruelest and most dangerous, Ogun Badagri, the lord of destruction.
I gotta get more sleep at night.
Tribe-specific Loa can have as much or more power as the more widely worshipped Loa. For instance, a particular tribe might revere highly the Loa of an ancestor who was a legendary hunter or politician. Voodoo temples are called Houndfors. Their priests, Houngan or Bokors, their priestesses, Mama Loa. In a Voodoo Houndfor, there's a ritual circle marked by a center pole called a Poto Meton. During ritual conclaves, initiates dance under the supervision of a Bokor and a Mama Loa, or head priestess. The use of totems or animal masks and markings was not uncommon in the original African ceremonies. Now, though, all but the oldest sects have abandoned this practice. Ritual objects used during the conclaves included the ritual gourd, or asan, the ritual knife, or kubasa.
That knife gives me the chills.
The ritual whip, or fouetcache, and the ritual coffin, or seke madule. These items are often optional, called for by the Mama Loa for specific magical rituals. The Mama Loa is the most powerful figure in any Voodoo sect. Voodoo is a truly matriarchal system. Even the Bokor knows his power is limited. The Mama Loa is the supreme woman. She goes out of her house at night, sees many things.
What?
Tries to get butterflies, and at night again she sees other things, including fireflies.
Schläft. Ist eingeschlafen.
Firelight. Gabriel?
What? Can't see.
Gabriel, get in.
Can't. It's too small for me.
You must get in, Gabriel.
It's not mine. Too small.
Hide, Gabriel, hide.
No! Let me out! Help!
Young man, the lecture is over.
Oh my god. Sorry.
Na klasse. Oh, wieder eine Errungenschaft. Das ist schön.
Are you a student?
No. My name is Knight. Gabriel Knight.
Well, you've already interrupted and slept through my lecture, Mr. Knight. I hope you have something worthwhile to do here. If you figure it out, let me know.
Oh, bei dem kann ich das?
Do you know what Capri Sankar means?
Cabri Sancour? Yes, I do. It's a Haitian term, I believe. It's French, and literally translates as goat without horns.
As in a female goat?
No, as in a human sacrifice. Sacrifices in Voodoo are usually of the animal variety. Chickens, bulls, goats. If the gods demand a goat without horns, it means a human being.
Menschenopfer, okay.
Tell me more about human sacrifice.
It's very rare. Most Voodoo practices do not include human sacrifice as a matter of record, but it is theoretically possible, if that's what the gods demand. For example, one of the chants I had translated for me from a Haitian ritual went like this.
Oh Gott, singt jetzt.
Mistress Ezuli, come and aid us. If a cock is demanded, we will give it. If a bull will suffice, behold it. But if a goat without horns is required for sacrifice, oh, where will we find one? Ezuli is the gentlest of Loire, so they call on her for mercy. But I have seen grown and powerful Houngan tremble before possession by one of the more violent Loire, such as Papa Nebo. Clearly, they are afraid that something of the sort will be ordered, or that Loire will simply take it for themselves.
Okay. Machen wir mal die Schlangen.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I'm not a zoologist, Mr. Knight, but I know all I care to about reptiles.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
It's June 23rd, the feast day of St. John the Baptist. But June 23rd has been a sacred day since the earliest times. Ancient sun worshippers used to roll a flaming wheel down a hill to celebrate the sun's descent on that day.
A burning wheel? Huh.
Okay.
Tell me about Damballa.
Damballa is one of the major Rada Loire, also known as Damballa Wado. He is an ancient Dahomian rain god, often represented as a large boa constrictor. Damballa is the most powerful and most violent of the Rada Loire. The Rada Loire are typically benevolent, as opposed, say, to the Patro Loire. He is still worshipped heavily in Haiti, and when voodoo first started in New Orleans, the early conclaves were reportedly based on the worship of the great zombie, the great serpent Damballa.
Warte mal. Ach, ich kann gar nicht darauf aus... Ich hab doch hier was. Hier diese... Wie...
Can you tell me anything about this?
Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Mind if I copy this?
Be my guest.
Great. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Here you go. You know, this is a fascinating veve. You must tell me all about its origin.
Actually, I was hoping you'd tell me. Can you figure out anything about it from the symbols?
Well, some. That's why I wanted a copy. I want to research the design myself.
Have you heard of the voodoo murders?
No. You're kidding. Really? Then the voodoo is authentic. The newspapers are wrong. Boy, are they wrong.
You think this veve is authentic?
Authentic? Mr. Knight, that's like asking if the Mona Lisa is a painting. Tell you what, I'll look into these symbols myself and see what I can learn about the sect that made this. I'll give you a call when I have more information. You are associated with the police, aren't you?
Absolutely. But I'm undercover. You can contact me at St. George's Bookshop in the quarter.
All right. Now, I'd like to get started on this, if you don't mind.
Das ist immer so... Ich bin Polizist, alles ist okay. Ich zeig ihm mal das Foto.
Is there anything you can tell me about the voodoo aspects of this photograph?
This is a serious voodoo ritual. Nasty stuff.
In what way?
Let's see. I can't make out much detail from this photograph, except for the corpse, of course. But the wound, the face, and what little I can see of the ritual paraphernalia... It reminds me of certain black voodoo practices. Very rare. I've never witnessed them myself, you understand.
Really? Interesting. Thanks.
Okay. Habe ich noch was, was ihn interessieren könnte? Ja, das bestimmt nicht. Vielleicht der Voodoo-Code.
Can you tell me anything about this?
No. I've never seen those symbols. Therefore, they're probably meaningless.
Really? Are you sure?
I'm never wrong, Mr. Knight. Therefore, sure is not in my vocabulary.
sonst noch was? Ein Foto von dem ist natürlich nicht wichtig. Telefonbuchseite auch nicht, nee, sonst habe ich nichts mehr.
Gabriel isn't in the mood to give a lecture.
Kann auch Vorlesung.
Mind if I pick your brain?
Not if it will get you out of my lecture hall.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
As I said in my lecture, which I assume you actually listened to, is that animal masks, totems, are used extensively in most African voodoo religions.
Mehr nicht?
Tell me what you mean by black voodoo.
Well, like any religion, the beliefs can tend toward positive or negative ends, can be used for good or evil. Christianity, for example, has its doppelganger, Satanism. Anytime you attempt to set up an icon to explain evil, you invite some warped mind to worship it. The same is true of voodoo. There are those who are drawn by and desire personal power from the darker, bloodier Loa.
Ich finde es faszinierend, dass es kein englisches Wort für Doppelgänger gibt. Jetzt hat er nichts, das ist auch nichts mehr Wichtiges.
I'll see you later.
Goodbye.
Schauen. Ich weiß, der Typ ja jetzt wieder mehr.
Hello there. Got a sec?
Go ahead. These folks ain't in no hurry.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Black voodoo? I've seen lots of voodoo markings in this cemetery. I've seen graves dug up and stuff you don't want to know about stolen from them. But voodoo? Black voodoo? Sounds like a devil of a distinction, if you ask me.
Er hat auch nichts Neues. Oha. Schon wieder.
Malia?
Mr. Knight, what are you doing here?
My family's tomb is here.
Mine too.
Unnoticed. Subtle.
Well, Mr. Knight, if there's nothing else.
Don't go. I need to talk to you.
Whatever for?
I can't stop thinking about you. I've been in your thoughts too. I can see it in your eyes.
Mr. Knight, you don't know anything about me. I'm not in a position to get involved.
I've said that a million times myself, but this is different. I think we both know we can't fight it. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this.
I have so many obligations. My family is very traditional. You wouldn't understand.
Hey, I love tradition. I've seen Fiddler on the Roof 100 times.
This isn't a musical, Mr. Knight. We live in different worlds.
Look, I know you got more money than God. Do you think I care? Do you think that's why I'm saying this?
No, I don't.
Why don't you come see my world? I've got a little bookshop, St. George's on Bourbon.
I know.
See, I knew it. You're crazy about me too.
Oh, God.
Come by tonight. Please? My world isn't so bad.
I'm sorry, but there's no place for someone like you in my life. Not now, not ever.
Damn it.
Der soll ein Frauenheld sein. Oh Mann. Dann nochmal zurück zur Buchhandlung.
Hey, Grace, here I am.
Oh boy, party time.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Ich wusste doch, dass das wieder
Could you
funktioniert.
do some research for me?
Sure, what?
I have a pattern I need you to research.
How interesting. What is it?
It's a reconstruction of the tracings they found around the murder victims. The ones done in flour and blood.
Yuck. You shouldn't carry this kind of thing around. Who knows what these symbols mean?
Well, wear your evil banishing gloves if you want, but check it out for me, would you?
I'll see what I can find out. Anything else?
I can't think of anything.
Daran erinnere ich mich noch.
I might be able to use this black shirt.
Das konnte man den Kragen überlegen. Ha! Ja, jetzt geht diese ehrfürchtige Katholikin mal an den Kragen.
Gabriel is carrying a black shirt.
Aber wie ging denn das nochmal, dass man sie anziehen konnte?
It looks like my priest outfit is complete.
Hä?
Yes? Who is it?
Wrong house. Never mind.
Fine, good day.
Nee, wie ging denn das? Ah.
All right, but this is private.
Ach Gott, wie sieht der denn jetzt aus?
Yes? Who is it?
It's Father McLaughlin to see you.
Father McLaughlin, you say? You must be new in the parish. I'm so pleased to meet you, Father. Do come in.
Thank you, my child.
Please be seated, Father.
Thank you.
Ach du Scheiße,
Now,
was ist das denn für
what can I do
Gemälde?
for you?
Das würde mich ja erschlagen.
Nice doggy. Good Castro.
Ich wurde eigentlich die Frau.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions, my child?
Of course not, mon père.
Wie der jetzt aussieht.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
The only true New Orleans are of French origin, you know? My family were among the original settlers of New Orleans. They came here from France. The Creole society used to be so gay in New Orleans. Now it barely hangs on by its fingernails.
Ehrlich, wenn da kein Untertitel wäre, würde ich die nicht mal verstehen. Die hat einen ganz schlimmen Akzent.
Do you have any idea what Caprice Encore means?
Maybe, I know. I bet you do not know, Father, n'est-ce pas?
It means goat without horns.
Father, you surprised me. You do know what it means. You know what they mean by goat without horns, don't you? A human being. That's right. Slit your throat, cut out your heart. Pure evil murder.
Okay.
Do you know anything about human sacrifice here in New Orleans?
Well, my great-grandma there could tell stories. She saw it. People say that sort of thing wasn't done in New Orleans, but the real voodoo queens did it. Oh, yes.
Who are the real voodoo queens?
Well, my great-grandma there told me that Laveau was just a front, a flamboyant decoy. She distracted authorities from the real voodoo queen of New Orleans. It's been the same one for almost 200 years. She's head of a secret voodoo enfant. That's what they call their temples, you know. It's so secret, most of the voodoo people in the city don't even know about it. The real voodoo queen controlled Laveau, gave her a little bit of power, and used her like a puppet.
Boah, der hat ganz schlimmen Akzent.
Tell me more about this secret voodoo hound for.
Well, I've never seen it. I wouldn't go near it if you bade me. But it's here in New Orleans, I guarantee it. I hear their drums at night, oh yes. That's why I'm so ill, I tell you, those drums. But we shouldn't talk about it. They'll hear us. It's the devil's work that happens there, I can tell you. I'll show you something secret. You mustn't tell anyone, Father.
I swear on my collar.
Here it is, mon père. A true object of evil if ever there was one.
It radiates something, all right.
It belonged to my great-grandmother. She told my mother that it was a token to gain entrance to the real voodoo ceremonies.
You don't say.
To tell you the truth, I've always felt nervous about having it in the house. You know, evil influence and all.
I can see how you would, yes.
And yet, I could never part with it. It's been in the family for generations. Would you bless it for me, Father? I feel strange asking such a thing of you, but surely you understand.
Bless this bracelet of a snake. Even though its vibes aren't great, let it do nobody harm when they wear it on their arm. Voodoo spirits, go away. Don't come back another day. And now let us pray.
Dafür habe ich doch den Ton.
Gabriel has a thought about the clay.
Bless, oh bless this circlet of silver. Take the curse, oh take it, Wilbur.
Wilbur?
A lovely blessing, mon père.
It's the Wilbur.
Yes, I think it made a lasting impression. Here you go.
I feel so much better now.
Making an impression. Sponsored.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Oh yes, Father. It is the wickedest kind. The kind they practice here in New Orleans.
Naja, ich habe ja alles, was ich brauche.
It's getting late. Gabriel decides to go home for the
der
day.
Tag ist zu Ende.
Excuse me. I'm going inside.
Natürlich.
Oh, I'm afraid St. George's is closed for the day.
I'm not a customer. I'm here to see the owner.
Why don't you just leave your name and number with me, and I'll tell him you stopped by.
Listen, if Gabriel is here, he'll want to see me. Is he? Here?
I really couldn't say for certain, but in the morning...
Gracie, say goodnight.
Sie hat's versucht.
You came. I didn't think you would.
I didn't think I would either.
Your eyes. I could show you around a little. It's not much, but...
Please don't. I couldn't focus on much of anything right now.
Yeah, I know. God, what is it about you?
Just shut up and kiss me.
Oh Gott. Der 4. Ich sprach mit ihm trotz Geruch des Todes. Er lieh mir seine Ohren. Kreuze der Markierung wurden Schleier der Tränen. Ich frage mich, woher die Zitate stammen. Kein Wort.
You're not speaking to me this morning?
Don't be silly. I just have nothing to say.
Have it your way.
Draußen steht jemand an dem Fenster.
Have you noticed this guy outside the shop?
Yeah, he gives me the creeps. I wish he'd go away.
Did you find out anything about that pattern I gave you?
Yeah, I did find something. I checked the microfiche at the public library. I found an article about a murder in 1810. The newspaper published part of a pattern found around the body. It looks damn close.
You're incredible. All that work.
Forget it.
So, hier wird gespeichert. So, das ist jetzt der nächste Tag 4. Ich werde jetzt mir eine Pause machen. Und ja, später wieder weitermachen. Ob es heute noch ist, weiß ich nicht. Morgen werde ich Stellaris spielen. Wieder mit der Mod. Ja, danke fürs Zuschauen und ich freue mich aufs nächste Mal.